Hello everyone, here we are with a new saga from the channel. This time we will present the saga, The First Super Saiyan. I believe most people have wondered who the first Super Saiyan was and what he did during his life. If you ask yourself that question and want to know the answer, then you come to the right place. If you're curious to know what's going to happen, I recommend that you continue until the end of this video. Don't forget to like the video as this contributes to the growth of the channel, and then share this video with your friends who also like Dragon Ball. That said, grab your lunch, turn off the bedroom lights, and join this incredible saga. Millions and millions of years ago, there was a Saiyan named Wukong. He was one of the first Saiyans to exist. This Saiyan was seen as the father of Saiyans. Wukong was wise and passed his teachings on to the rest of his race, being very intelligent and thinking more with his head than with his heart. Wukong easily realized that the rest of his race ended up losing important resources because of the unstoppable and constant rage that was there in the rest of the race. As Wukong realized this, and because he was clearly more successful than any other Saiyan there, having water and food in abundance and variety, he taught the Saiyans to be rational and calm so that they could live in peace. As time went by, Wukong became decorated as a god and loved by its civilization because its intelligence and its teachings helped everyone. Saiyans had rituals that were considered sacred and called upon a bit of Wukong's wisdom when needed. Wukong particularly did not like to be treated like a god, as he was a citizen like any other. But Wukong saw that this was helping the people to prosper and live in peace and harmony. As his people passed on their knowledge, the words of Wukong had already spread to all the Saiyans on the planet. Over time, Wukong was getting older and older, and he was already the oldest Saiyan of all. But he managed to remain firm because he used his medicinal knowledge and immense wisdom to find ways to continue living. Not even the most enraged of Saiyans could get irrational with so much anger around Wukong. God Wukong's word changed the temperament of all beings without exception. Even those who were considered infidels respected Wukong, as being a deity or not. His wisdom and compassion were truly respected and worshipped. Wukong once noticed a conflict between those who worshipped him as a divine creature and those who considered him just as a wise old man. Wukong then called a Saiyan from each group to represent all those who held the same or similar opinion. The Saiyans were having a very peaceful and productive debate while Wukong was just watching and alerting the representatives when one of them was disrespectful, or calling the audience's attention when someone in it made a noise loud enough to interrupt the debate. The Saiyans were arguing with each other for long minutes, and the debate never had a real conclusion. One said that Wukong was genetically the same as the others. He was the same species, and therefore he was like any other, his enormous wisdom being the only difference and nothing else. The other said that there was no rational Saiyan like Wukong, and none so wise like him. So most of the Saiyans faithfully believed in the idea of him being something divine and kind. Wukong, observing where the debate was going, said, "There is no way to prove who was wrong or who was right, because despite being wise, there are still hundreds of thousands of things to be discovered and millions of mysteries to be unraveled. Therefore, as none of the theories were proven wrong or right, the best thing to do would be to respect the belief of your fellow man and not force each other to believe what you want them to believe. After all, that would be unfair and very wrong," Wukong said, and so peace and balance remained intact. Until one day, a ship landed near the house where Wukong lived, and furious warriors belonging to Frieza's race went to Wukong with eyes full of greed, an evil smile on their faces. A part of the people was concerned about the safety of their god, who was already very old, while the other part was more concerned with believing that the word of God would touch the hearts of those evil warriors. The strongest of that race went to Wukong, demanding his knowledge, and Wukong knew they didn't mean well. Wukong tried to warn them, but they just needed to stay calm and be kind, and wisdom would come naturally. But the warriors thought that Wukong knew how to get enough power to achieve immortality, since he knew very well what he had to do to live together. When Wukong realized this, he said that just being kind and practicing meditation would increase their lifespan. The soldiers faced each other. They were confused by what Wukong said, who decided to get out of there as it would be the best option for now. Clearly, it wasn't going to work so fast that they got what they wanted overnight. In contrast, Wukong continued to live his life based on meditation and calm. At least it was like that until he met an older girl who found him on a day that Wukong had decided to walk around the planet. This girl had short black hair. She was a little shorter than Wukong. Her name was Jin. Wukong didn't remember seeing her during her lifetime, so it could just be someone who decided to live their life indoors. Wukong started walking along with the girl beside him. Wukong began to dialogue with her. "So why is this the first time I see you here?" asked the Saiyan to the Saiyan girl. The girl immediately replied, I don't usually leave the house. Normally I stay there taking care of things. I also take care of my little brother," answered the Saiyan girl. Wukong was a little surprised, although that was to be expected. Again he replied, "You must carry a great responsibility." "How fantastic. What's your name?" questioned Wukong. The girl was happy to hear that and soon replied, "It's Jin, sir," asked the Saiyan girl with a smile in her eyes. Wukong was enchanted by the girl's name and then he said, "What a beautiful name, Jin. You must already know me, right?" questioned the Saiyan Wukong. A blush rose on Jin's face. She was shy by Wukong's response. "Yes, Wukong, you are well known around here. Impossible not to know who you are," said Jin with a friendly smile on her face. Wukong was extremely happy hearing that and then spoke. "Thank you. Well, anyway, it's almost night. Hunger is quite harmful. Let's eat something," asked Wukong to the girl who was thinking about Wukong's proposal. Jin couldn't refuse the invitation, so she just accepted, saying, I don't want to bother you, but I accept," Jin replied. Wukong and Jin began to explore the place in search of the meal they were going to eat. They found various exotic foods and ate them deliberately. A feeling arose in Wukong's chest. It was love, a feeling that turned even the wisest of beings into an irrational being. As time passed, the feeling grew. Wukong was even happier to see her, and this was repeated for the next few months. Until, on a peaceful day, ships appeared again on the Saiyan's planet. They were Frieza's race soldiers. The inhabitants fell into crisis and disorder. The soldiers began to invade the village and kill the Saiyans present there. Wukong was meditating, but he was soon interrupted by hearing the screams of the innocent people. Wukong ran, and from afar, he heard the cry of his beloved. During that short period, everything was silent. Only the scream of his beloved was echoing in his mind. He ran after those responsible and found them. They were from the enemy army. However, in an attempt to save the girl, one of the Saiyans threw a spear at the soldier who was holding Jin. The spear pierced the soldier, and unfortunately, Jin too. At that moment, Wukong shed a tear. He couldn't believe what was before his eyes. It was just a nightmare, no? But this was real. Wukong exploded with rage and destroyed the enemy army in a matter of seconds. The army leader eventually managed to flee Wukong. The most rational Saiyan was taken by the purest of hatred. He took lives in a matter of seconds. Wukong took the dead body of his beloved, turned his back on his village, and disappeared from there forever. What will happen? Will Wukong take revenge, or will Wukong abandon everything? Questions like these will only be answered in the next episode, because today's episode ends here. Hey guys, I know it's sad when today's video unfortunately ends, but don't worry because the next episodes are coming. And if you liked it, don't forget to leave your like. It helps us a lot and motivates us to continue with these videos that you like so much. Comment your theories of what might happen in the next episode and share the video with your friends so you can watch it together. That's it. See you guys!